again guys, and welcome back to the channel. So this week what I'm intending to do is give you a quick rundown of everything that we've been planning and we've got booked for this year. We've got plenty of stuff planned so far and plenty of other weekends in between to get away in the van and find some other places to go to. I got a nice present off my daughter for Christmas, a book for filling out pub stops, and I intend to fill quite a few of those pages in over the next few months. So, what have we got planned so far for this year? Okay, we start at the end of this month, February. I've booked us a week, or well, 5 nights at Conker's Caravan and Camping Club site, which is in the National Forest. That week that we've got booked in there sort of ties in nicely, because at the start of that week we are off down to Eco Tree for a bit of a planning exercise really for the upgrade that we've got in mind for the motorhome. Have a sit down with Rob down at Eco Tree, discuss what we want out of this upgrade and what they can do for us and what we're going to need to get what we want out of it. So hopefully with the lithium upgrade, a little bit more solar on the roof and an inverter, we'll be able to spend a lot more time away from campsites, off-grid, which is the major plan for our Euro trip, to spend as little time as we possibly can on campsites using Stellplats or Camperplats in Germany and Belgium and Holland. We have got a few nights booked on a campsite, but I'll get to that in a little bit and explain why we're on a campsite for a few nights when we're over there. Also that week, whilst we're staying at Conker's, I've booked Conker's because it's kind of in between where Eco Tree is and where the NEC is, because that week is the caravan or camping caravan and motorhome show at the NEC. I've got us tickets for the Wednesday and the Thursday, which is the 22nd and 23rd of February. Not been to one of these shows before. The only motorhome sort of show that we've been to before was the Warner's show, which is the Yorkshire Motorhome show at Harrogate, which is where we actually ordered our van, and that was last year in March when we ordered our van there. So the big show with the NEC. One of the reasons I want to go there is there's a few bits and pieces I'd like to get, and I want to get a thermal screen, external thermal screen for the motorhome to stop the condensation on the inside of the windscreen. And rainbow screens are going to be there. I've done a bit of reading online, looked at rainbow screens, lots and lots of good reports on those, so we're going to go and have a look, see how much they are, hopefully get a bit of a show deal as it were, possibly. And also with the fact that we're planning on spending a lot of time off-grid and not on campsites when we're in Europe, I want to look at some internal security enhancements for the van as well. M&C are going to be there, which is where we bought our motorhome from, and Rimor are going to be there as well, the actual manufacturers, so we're going to go and have a look round those. We'll take you around some vans while we're there, do a couple of van tours. And we're also going to go and have a look at some of the really expensive vans that nobody, unless you're absolutely minted or have won the lottery, can really afford. But that should be fun. What else have we got planned? Moving into, nothing for March at the moment, but obviously there's a few weekends in March we might be able to get away, do some of the pub stops. April, Easter week, we're possibly looking at Scotland. Siska really wants to go to Scotland. I've been to a few places. Siska's only ever been to Edinburgh, so we're possibly going to have a look and discuss doing sort of the southwest coast 300, which is the Dumfries and Galloway coastline. We'll have a look at that. Definitely booked in May is a weekend at Chester Fair Oaks Caravan and Motorhome Club site for Eurovision weekend. Now that is about as close as I could get to Liverpool for that weekend. It's about 35 minutes according to Google Maps up through the Wirral, through the Mersey Tunnel and into Liverpool. That weekend, we're not only going to take the motorhome, we're going to take Siska's car, leave the motorhome at the campsite, and drive into Liverpool. Got my eldest daughter to thank for this one. Made a rather daft promise last year to our oldest granddaughter Chloe and said, if the UK ever hosts Eurovision, I'll take you. So thanks very much for that one, Helen. With everything booked up in Liverpool, the only sensible option was to ask Mum and Dad if they can take the motorhome. So we're off over there, and we are going to try and get some tickets to Eurovision. I must admit, a bit of a guilty secret, but I do like Eurovision myself. So I used to love it when Terry Wogan did it on the telly, because all he did was take the piss. What else have we got? End of May, you've got the late May bank holiday. Nothing planned for that yet, but I'm sure we'll come up with something where we can get away for 3 or 4 days. Then we go on into June. I've booked us onto Van Love Fest at Elvington in York. Watched several videos of what went on at last year's show. Saw it advertised on £1 Million Motorhomes on Channel 5. Looked really, really good. So I've booked us for that weekend at Elvington. Really looking forward to that weekend. That should be a good week. That should really be good. Then we're into July. We've got a Rimor owners meet at Holcroft Fisheries, which is near Retford. Went to this one last year. It was I think it was the second trip out that we had in the motorhome after we picked it up. Really, really fantastically friendly bunch of people. All Rimor owners. I've never seen that many Rimors anywhere. Not even at MNC. And they sell them. So there were loads of us there. Really friendly bunch of people. Cracking weekend. We've got that booked. That's at the end of July. So I'm looking forward to that one. And as soon as we finish that, we're going to finish that weekend, and then we're going to head off down to Folkestone to start our European trip. I've got us booked in for one night on a ferry pitch at Black Horse Farm site. I think that's CAMC again. So we can get an early morning train on the Eurotunnel. From there, we're going to head to Ypres, and this will be probably one of the only other nights on the trip in Europe that we'll stay on a campsite. We know of one that we've stayed at before that do little sort of wooden camping huts that you can stay in. We've stayed in those on a couple of occasions in Ypres. I'm going to go and do the Menin Gate again. The ceremony, I will take you on that one. It's a fantastic ceremony. I'll give you a bit of the history on it when we do that as well. Then from there we're going to head down through Belgium and into Germany. We've got a couple of places that we're planning on going to. Neuschwanstein Castle. For those of you that don't know what that is, that's the one that Disney based the Disney Castle on, so we're going to go there. I'd like to go down to the Eagle's Nest. We'll see if we get down there. That's quite far south. That's heading down towards Salzburg, nearly into the top end of Austria there. Then we're going to head up into northern Germany, go to the Harz region of Germany, the Harz Mountains. And then we're going to go to a place called Camping Sonnenberg, which is in a town called Fassberg, which is just south of Hamburg. We're going to be booked on there for 4 nights. That's, again, we want to stay away from campsites, but we're booking on there for 4 nights because my sister-in-law will be staying there with her family, and obviously Siska wants to see her sister, so we're going to spend 4 nights there with them, and we're going to go around and do some touristy type things. There's plenty of things around there. Chatting with us, with my sister-in-law's husband Marcel, there's the biggest tank museum in Germany just down the road from there, so that's on the list. Definitely be going there. Siska said you and Marcel can go to that one, and her and Bianca will stay on the campsite. So that's what we'll be doing with there. From there, we're going to head into Holland to Hardenberg. We're going to go and see Siska's mum, and then we're going to go probably up into the north of Holland to Friesland, see some bits and pieces up there. There's a couple of things that Siska's mentioned she'd like to go back to that she did when she was a child, so we're going to go up there. and then we're going to head our way back home through Holland, and we're going to come back into the UK. I'm not coming back via Eurotunnel. We're going to come back from the Hook of Holland into Harwich, and then we're going to work our way back home for probably over 2 or 3 days. Cambridge, it's a nice town. I've not been to Cambridge, so we'll probably call into Cambridge on the way north. Maybe a couple of other places as well. Might call in and see my sister in Peterborough. And then we're going to work our way home. And that basically as far as we've got with our plans for this year. But it is quite full. I mean, the trip to Europe is 23 days. We're going to be out in Europe, so 3.5 weeks out there, and plenty of stuff to do. We will be taking cameras. I've just bought another camera so that Siska and I can both do videoing at the same time. We can get different perspectives as we go around places. And Siska's probably a little bit more artistically inclined than I am, so hopefully the videos will improve on that score as well. So that basically, folks, is as far as we've got. There's plenty there. We will take you on all of those trips, and we will show you around what we're doing when we get there, and hopefully you'll join us as we go along. So if you want to see all of those trips, then you know what you need to do. It's subscribe. It is free. Drop us a like, and if you've got any suggestions for places, it's a long drive from southern Germany to northern Germany. So if anyone's got any suggestions on that sort of route from, shall we say, Salzburg through to Hamburg via the Harz region, if there's any sort of little stops in between that you would suggest are worth visiting, drop them in the comments below. Be fantastic. That'd be awesome. And we'll have a look at those and maybe call in and do those. We do like historical types things, or medieval towns and all the rest of it. So any suggestions you've got will be greatly appreciated, and we'll see if we can fit them into the trip. So until the next time, folks, see you then.